John Krasinski stars as Nathan Drake in a brand new Apple Plus movie called Uncharted: Curse of the Mummy, a National Treasure. Let's talk about it. When I saw a brand new trailer for a film called Fountain of Youth hitting Apple Plus last week, it piqued my interest, mainly because it had Jim Halpert in it from The Office and my precious Natalie Portman, who I haven't seen in quite some time. I mean, I kind of see her every day as I just purchased the Natalie Portman Padme skin on Fortnite. Yeah, that's right. I'm a man of class and sophistication. And then my interest was piqued yet again, along with something else, if you catch my drift. My finger. Because I found out it was directed by Guy Ritchie. The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie. Snatch, Guy Ritchie. Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2, and for some reason not a third, Guy Ritchie. And then the trailer played out more, and I thought, all right, well, it's got a little bit of that high-polished, high-res sheen that doesn't look cinematic at all, that a lot of these streaming films have, but at least it looks like it's having a good time. And if it's having fun, I'm having fun. Let's watch it. And I did. And now I'm reviewing it. Okay, now that we're caught up. It's not good. But it's not total ass either. It's just kind of bleh. It's one of the most formulaic, generic, by-the-book types of movies you expect this to be. All at the super cheap cost of $180 million. What? That's right, this is a $180 million film. Straight to streaming, not playing in a theater, as far as I know. Starring a few big actors, and for some reason, randomly Stanley Tucci. Because if you look hard enough, you can find a little Stanley Tucci in every film. Before I fix the hat and dust off the whip, if you wouldn't mind snapping that subscribe and hitting that notification bell if you're on YouTube. Spotify, Apple Podcasts are also possibilities for the show. That way, you'll see more of me in the future, and I would appreciate it. This is going to be a spoiler-free, I guess, thing. Not that it really matters in the slightest. You know everything that's going to happen before it does, because again, you've seen this movie a bunch of times, whether it's The Goonies, or Indiana Jones, or National Treasure, or The Mummy, or Uncharted. It's all been done before, and here is just kind of same old hat. Is that an expression? Same old hat? Whatever, who cares? John Krasinski plays Luke Perdue, and Natalie Portman plays his sister, Charlotte Perdue. Our boy Luke is an adventure seeker. That's how he would describe himself. He says he's going on an adventure constantly in this movie. Come on an adventure with me. Let's go on an adventure. This will be the greatest adventure ever. And by adventure, he pretty much means let's steal a painting, run away, go steal something else, run away, wash, rinse, repeat. His sister Charlotte is not into that. Maybe once upon a time she was. But as the Perdue family business is concerned, she don't want anything to do with them. This really all started after their father died. They never mentioned the mother, I don't think, once in this movie. She must have been just a raging alcoholic bitch. I don't know. It's never talked about. She has a son, though, as well, and she doesn't want her poor little boy to be raised in an environment as rambunctious as the one Luke is part of. I don't remember her son's name, but if you've ever seen Arrested Development and you know who Ann is, he would be the male equivalent. Every time he'd be on camera, I would just think, him? I'm not shitting on this kid actor. It's just the character has no presence at all. He has one defining characteristic, and it's that he's good at music. Like super genius levels of good. Later in the film, it's going to come into play, and you know exactly how. As the movie's unfolding, as the story beats are hitting, you're going to look at the movie before it even happens. You're going to say, yeah, dipshit over here is going to do something, or he's going to know something. Let's bring him into the fold. Let's bring him in. The film is called The Fountain of Youth, so you could probably wager a guess as to what Luke is after in this movie. But it's really not just Luke. It's a rich employer that is funding this whole expedition. Unfortunately, it's not just as simple as grabbing a couple priceless paintings, unlocking the codes and the secrets, figuring things out, and going from point A to point B. No, there are a couple different factions after them, including one specialized group that is a keeper of secrets. They protect the Fountain of Youth. That sounds awfully familiar. Where have I seen that before? Oh yeah, The Mummy had the same exact thing. The leader of this group is Esme, or Esma or Izmi. I'm really not sure. Hot actress is how I refer to her because she is a beautiful actress. And when I mentioned Uncharted, I really mean it. She's essentially Chloe if you played those games. And there was a Uncharted movie, but this Chloe's much better. She's going to have a lot of interactions with Luke, and every single time you could cut the sexual tension with a knife. It's just palpable. They're constantly bouncing one-liners off of each other. I mean, it's really just John doing the one-liners. She's just kind of rolling her eyes and trying to kill him. And this works for a solid amount of time until it doesn't, and it just becomes old hat, if you will. And I just found myself going, all right, how much is left? What do we got? Another fucking 45 minutes of this thing? Okay. And as much as I love Natalie Portman, here her character is really annoying for 90% of the film. It's just every scene she's in is bitching like a Karen at a soccer match. I don't want to be here. I gotta protect my son. What is happening? Why are we doing this? There is a subplot that I'm pretty positive goes nowhere, and it's insane that it goes nowhere because they make a big deal about this early on. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's possible I blacked out during this film at several occasions, but she is in the middle of a custody battle with her ex-husband over her boring plain son, Egg, and he's fighting for like full control. So one of the main reasons she's mad at her brother is because he brought her back into this mess. She was a curator at a museum until that went pear-shaped thanks to the break-in and everything, and she was kind of complicit in it. And then so there's repercussions with keeping the child until out of fucking nowhere, her husband calls her up and says, oh, by the way, I need you to take our son for a year. He had to go on some business trip or something. I don't know what happened. And he just goes away. He never shows up again. I think Owen Carver, who is the billionaire guy that's supposedly dying of cancer, had her husband like transferred to Japan to go on a business trip. And that's how she gets custody of her son. I think. But seriously, this is such a dumb, unnecessary plot point that really goes nowhere. I don't know why it's even in the movie. A movie that's over 2 hours long. The film is PG-13, although I think they could almost have gone away with a PG rating. There's really not much happening here in terms of swearing, violence. It's all so kind of meh. There's a lot of girl boss action. Our hot chick is spinning around on the ground with a knife. Zzz! She's blocking shots. She's taking guys out. She's spinning around necks, serpentining down the body. I love when they do that. I'm a sucker for that. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a 90-pound hot chick doing cool shit around a giant guy that there's no way she could beat up in real life. But I'm watching a movie. I suspend. I have fun with it. This movie, to its credit, is attempting to have a good time. But again, how the hell is this a Guy Ritchie movie? This very much seems like the type of project a director such as Guy Ritchie would take on so that he can do the movie he actually wants to make, but he needs funded. So he scratches Apple's back. They maybe give him something in return. This is a straight up workhorse film for him. Get in, get out. There's nothing inspiring going on here. And by the time we wind down to this Fountain of Youth section, the rails are completely off. And I don't mean from a spectacle standpoint. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. There's hardly anything happening. If you compare this to Raiders of the Lost Ark or The Mummy or, any of those other National Treasure type films, there's always like huge set pieces and these big spectacles or these battles. Here, everything is just so limited in scope and budget, even though the budget's through the roof. You would think that this film cost $50 million to make. Everything's green screened at the end when it comes to inside of the pyramids. On the outside, there's a little skirmish. Not really sure why it's happening, and it's over before you know it. The only thing I'm going to point out about the ending that I thought was very funny was there's a point where they reveal a series of stairs. We're talking like 20 stories of stairs that are running down the side of a wall, and they're going back and forth. This isn't just a straight shot or an escalator or an elevator of sorts. No, you're zigzagging. You are Jumpman Donkey Konging down this bitch. And as they're making their descent, all I could think was, there is a 100% chance at some point something bad's gonna happen and they're gonna have to hightail it back up these stairs. Now, I don't know the last time you've walked a flight of stairs, but it can be a grueling experience if you're, say, on the 6th parking lot floor and you have to go all the way up, it can get tiring. Now, times that by like 40. You're going a long ways up. Keep in mind, they have a kid with them. And undoubtedly, something goes wrong and they do have to run up those stairs. And all I'm doing is thinking, there's no fucking way. There's no way. That kid's shot after 2 sets of stairs. He's gonzo. There's no way this dude's getting up there. Natalie Portman, I love her, but she is not black swanning her ass to the finish line. I'm all over the place with the review. That's what you're gonna get here. I'm just randomly, like throwing up thoughts. I try to sometimes be concise, but if it's a movie like this, I'm just gonna be all over. As far as production, I mentioned it's a lot of money to make. You don't really see it on the screen. You see a lot of drone shots. You get some tiny squeaks of Guy Ritchie here and there, but really it's so stock. The music is even worse. It's the most basic, generic background music I've ever heard, which makes the next thing I'm gonna say all the more depressing. The Fountain of Youth is one of the better streaming films I have watched in the last several years, because there are some real turds out there. This is at least attempting to tell some jokes, have some action set pieces, go places with characters, which is more than I can say for a lot of the other movies that have come straight to streaming. Not good. I wouldn't waste your time watching The Fountain of Youth. I'm just saying you could do worse. If you're bored at home on a Friday night and you don't want to go out, yeah, sure, throw it on. You might make it 45 minutes to an hour in before you have a nice peaceful rest for the night. And you know what? That's not too bad. All right, let me know your thoughts. Those are mine on The Fountain of Youth, the new Apple Plus streaming exclusive. Did you watch it already? Is your interest peaked now because you could use some good shut-eye? Let me know. And again, please think of subbing to the show Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I would appreciate it. Share it with your friends and family, and hopefully I see some of you next time. Take care. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge. Appreciate your time. Thanks.